The 2007 NASCAR Nextel Cup Series season would be the last under the Nextel name, due to Sprint taking over Nextel. But despite that, you may remember the 2007 season for many things. Jeff Gordon passing Dale Earnhardt on the all-time wins list, Dale Jr. leaving DEI, Kevin Harvick and Mark Martin's iconic Daytona 500 finish, the first Car of Tomorrow race, Jimmie Johnson winning 4 races in a row, Jamie McMurray snapping his winless streak. But despite all that, we will never know what would have happened without the chase. And today, it will be my job to break down what could have happened. Now before I begin, there was a slight tweak to the point system. The winner would receive 185 points instead of 180. This was done to make sure no one would score more points than the race winner. So with that being said, let's begin. In the first 6 races, Kevin Harvick would win the Daytona 500 by a nose over Mark Martin. Jimmie Johnson would win 3 of the next 5 races at Las Vegas, Atlanta, and Martinsville. Matt Kenseth would win race 2 at Auto Club, and Kyle Busch would win the first Car of Tomorrow race at Bristol. After the first 6 races, Jeff Gordon would be at the top of the table by 28 points over Jeff Burton, with the highest winner being Jimmie Johnson in 3rd, 60 points off of Gordon, despite winning 3 of the first 6 races. But in the other 3 races, he would have finishes of 39th, 3rd, and 16th, while Jeff Gordon would have finishes of 10th, 2nd, 12th, 3rd, and 2nd to open the season. What nobody knew at the time, this was the form that Jeff Gordon would have for the rest of the season, and would be oddly close to the form he had in the late 90s. In the next 6 races, Jeff Gordon would further establish his dominance by winning at Phoenix, Talladega, and Darlington, and despite crashing out at the Coke 600, he would extend his points lead to 132 points over teammate Jimmie Johnson. Jimmie Johnson would be doing some damage control by winning the race at Richmond and closing the gap at Charlotte by finishing 10th, but would be massively outperformed by Gordon in these 6 races. Over the next 6 races, Jeff Gordon would continue to dominate the 2007 season by extending his point lead to 277 points over new 2nd place driver Denny Hamlin. Jeff Gordon would win the rain-shortened race at Pocono and have finishes of 9th, 7th, 2nd, and 5th in the other 5 races, further continuing his consistency. Now you might be wondering what happened to Jimmie Johnson. Well, he would have finishes of 15th, 42nd, 19th, 17th, 5th, and 10th, and would make him fall to 4th, over 400 points behind Jeff Gordon at the halfway point of the season. Jeff Gordon would further extend his point lead to now 349 points to new 2nd place Tony Stewart, who actually gained almost 200 points on Gordon by winning 3 of the next 6 races at Chicagoland, Indianapolis, and Watkins Glen, and would finish 6th, 10th, and 4th in the other 3 races to close the gap to Gordon. Jeff Gordon this time would record finishes of 9th, 3rd, 4th, 9th, 27th, and 19th. As for Jimmie Johnson, his season would collapse.
Oh, Johnson has crashed! Hard crash, Jimmie Johnson.
That is a hard crash.
Johnson in his 5 races never finished worse than 6th here.
I'm trying to get my breath.
Left another tire let go.
I was tight. The car wouldn't turn the whole time. That's why I was going backwards. And then it went way loose into that corner, and I think it's because he sucked up on my right rear, but that's just what I was told by my team or whatever. So I don't know. I'm not sure what happened. I was looking forward. Next thing I knew, I was in the wall.
All right, big trouble on the racetrack, guys. Big crash here. Jimmie Johnson involved. The 48 car spins around, and the last year's winner involved.
Jimmie Johnson would be very inconsistent, having 2 DNFs in this time, and with these inconsistencies, he would fall down to 6th, 523 points behind Jeff Gordon. So the real question was, did Gordon finally meet his match, and was it the force known as Tony Stewart? The short answer would be no. At California, Stewart would finish 13th while Gordon would finish 22nd, shrinking the gap to 317 points. At Richmond, Stewart would finish 2nd and Gordon would finish 4th, bringing the gap to 312 points. The next race at Loudon, Gordon would beat Stewart by finishing 2nd, while Stewart would come home 3rd and would keep the gap the same due to Tony Stewart leading laps. At Dover, Stewart would finish 9th while Gordon would finish 11th, shrinking the gap to 304 points. At Kansas, Gordon would finish 5th while Tony Stewart's season would wash down the drain.
When I talked with Greg this morning, he felt that things were good and Tony Stewart is in trouble.
Oh, Tony Stewart, what everyone hoped would not happen, and he has trouble, and he gets the 99 car involved.
Man, I tell you, that was just a bad decision right there. Leave him out there. I was worried about that.
10th caution flag today, and Tony Stewart has had a bad day go to worse, and not a great day now for the 99 car because he was caught in that situation.
We don't really know what caused this spin with Tony Stewart. It may have been that tire or not, but well, he sure does look frustrated here.
Very angry Tony Stewart in the car.
He would crash out of the race and would end his hopes at a 3rd title. Gordon would win the next race at Talladega, further cementing his lead at the top. But what I didn't mention is that in this time, Jimmy Johnson would mount a comeback.
Visit the family and friends, but to go to Victory Lane at California Speedway. He has not won since May 6th, race number 10 at Richmond. But guess what? Tonight at California Speedway, race number 25, Jimmy Johnson takes the victory. Win number 6 in 2007. It would be Jimmy Johnson's 29th career win, and he will come down and take the checkered flag as Jimmy Johnson sweeps both races and wins at Richmond.
Yeah, boys, you guys are awesome.
In the other 4 races, Johnson would finish 6th, 14th, 3rd, and 2nd, closing the gap to Gordon by almost 100 points. But even with this late season charge, he would need nothing short of a miracle to beat his teammate. At this time, he was 439 points behind Gordon, and if he were to even have a shot at Homestead, he would have to gain 56 points per race on Gordon, which comes out to around 13 positions. Johnson's miracle would not get off to a great start. Gordon would win the race at Charlotte while Johnson would finish 14th, growing the gap to 498 points. At Martinsville, Johnson would win the race while Gordon would finish 3rd, shrinking the gap to 483 points. At Atlanta, Johnson would win again while Gordon would finish 7th, decreasing the gap to 439 points. Jeff Gordon was now in a position where he could lock up the championship 2 races early at Texas. All he would have to do was finish 28th and he would be the 2007 champion. At Texas, both drivers would be in contention all day, with Johnson winning the race and Gordon coming home 7th to lock up the championship 2 races early. Jimmy Johnson would make history the next race at Phoenix and become the first driver to win 4 straight races since, oddly enough, Jeff Gordon in 1998, and would end the season with a 7th place finish at Homestead. But it didn't matter because his teammate Jeff Gordon had already won the championship. In 2007, Jeff Gordon would have claimed his 6th championship. Now, how would the narrative have changed? Jimmy Johnson would now lose his 2nd championship, but would end up giving Gordon his 6th, and that would put Gordon in the conversation if he could tie or even break Richard Petty and Dale Earnhardt's 7 championship record. Jeff Gordon in 2007 would be the dominant force that no one could catch, and Jimmy Johnson would set a massive charge at the end, but would eventually amount to nothing. Well, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next week for 2008. Y'all have a good day.